All right, welcome back to another live stream. This is Total OS Today, Total Technology for beginners and beyond. I'm just getting my notes settled in for this evening. Tonight we'll talk a little bit briefly about my top 5 reasons why Windows 10 is not fun. This is a family show, so I have to keep it clean. And then we'll go from there. So that is the topic for this evening. We'll wait for some people to come into the chat room, and then we'll go from there. I'm looking at the ticker feed, see if anything catches my eye. Then we'll go from there. Let's see. Looks good there. Looks good there. Okay. Hi, Stephen Wheeler. Welcome. I see you in the chat. Very good. How are you? One of my friends, Tim, is in the chat, and he should be back. He had to step away for a second, Stephen. So how are things going for this evening? Let me get situated here. So, yeah, so we will talk about why I prefer to use Linux nowadays as a dual booter versus Win 10. Windows 10 is now my backup OS in case something drastic happens in Linux, which hasn't happened in a long time. That's how good Linux is. Chris Samuel says only 5 reasons. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to make this a 6-hour marathon, telethon, toastathon like I did last month. So for 5 reasons, you know. Howdy, Robert. How are you? Anyway, just 5 for tonight. Yes. Kroger's Real Sugar Cola. This tastes awesome. Little plug for Kroger's. If you have a Kroger's grocery store where you live. But yeah, a rare Wednesday night show. I try to do these live streams at different times so everybody around the world gets a chance to stop in and say hello, ask a question. Anthony De La Rosa, welcome. Yeah, somebody asked me, do I have a set schedule? Right now, I don't. I really need to do upgrades to the office here. I was thinking today, I don't know what's worse. Waiting for Windows 10 to do updates and rebooting. Is that worse? Or waiting for a video to render from an outdated machine and just waiting and wait? I think Windows 10 is probably worse. But that's one of the reasons why I don't have a set schedule, because I never know when I'll be doing some editing and it takes a long time. So I try to keep the editing down to a minimum. I don't usually edit these live events, unless it crashes. So that's why I don't have a particular set schedule, unless I can update the office here, my equipment, and keep the editing down to a minimum. What I can tell you guys as far as the schedule is Friday nights, usually at 10 o'clock for now, I'm usually on, unless something happens. It's almost getting on summertime here. It stays light later, which is great. It starts to get dark about after 9, so I usually jump on 9:30, get things situated, and go live at 10. So right now, that is the set schedule for sure. Then me and Switch to Linux try to do a Life in Linux on the weekends, usually Saturday nights. But that's why I don't have a set schedule right now. Keegan, how are you? Welcome. Is anybody here running Windows besides me? I don't know. I still dual boot the multiple machines. I updated multiple Windows machines, and with Windows 10, the spring update, it took a while. It was not fun at all, So tonight's topic will be my 5 reasons why Windows 10 is painful. Only 5 for tonight, Chris. If you guys have some more reasons, feel free to put them in the chat for this evening, okay? And we'll go from there.
I tend to think the chat might get mighty filled up.
Keegan, you dual boot. You don't agree with some of the politics, but it is a solid system. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, we talked about the politics of privacy last Friday night. I wanted to thank everybody that popped on. Tim was on. Michael from Tux Digital, Switch to Linux, and some others. It was an open, honest conversation. We didn't agree on everything, but that's fine. The main thing is to let the people get the information that they need so they have freedom of choice. And we talked about is Ubuntu becoming spyware because of sending back certain data. I don't think it's spyware. Now, is there a possibility in the future? Maybe. But compared to Windows, not even close. So, yeah, you should feel safer still using Linux, in my opinion. Timo is in the house. Hello, Tim. Just got home. Okay. Chat with me over the weekend. Yeah, Friday nights, 10 o'clock should be on unless something else happens. And I might have a special show this Friday night. I'll surprise you guys, and we'll talk about it. So,
You guys have to tune in Friday night. This isn't an option. If you have anything going on that is at all avoidable to get on and watch Toss, you got to do it on Friday night, folks.
it'll be more of a human story. We'll talk about some technology that'll make you laugh. Personal stuff that I've told very few people. I've told Tim here, but I think you guys will enjoy it. I try to mix things up. Just remember that the best OS in Total OS today, the best operating system is yourself, and use it wisely. Okay? Okay, we'll give it a few more minutes. We'll see if anybody else jumps on. Again, this was unannounced, not on the normal schedule, so I don't expect a lot of people to jump on. But those of you who missed this, just go ahead and replay this, you know. And if you have any questions or comments, just let me know. Hello, William Armstrong. How are you?
Keegan says, I watched the upload from the earlier live stream and I agree with Tim. I'll use whatever works for me. I'm careful with my private stuff, but I don't want to live in a box. Keegan, thanks for the shout out to me. I appreciate it. And you know, that's kind of where I started my Linux usage. I jumped around and screwed around with this, that, and everything else between here and the moon distro-wise, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I had let's just say my share of frustration at times, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm a regular guy. I want to turn on my computer. I'd like it to boot relatively quick, and I want to be able to get to the things that matter to me as quickly as I can. And the few things that I work on nowadays, I want to be able to do that efficiently and logically. And if I can do that with an OS, that's the one I'm going to pick. And for quite some time prior to this past weekend when I wasn't feeling too great, I was on Ubuntu, this plain old 1804 Ubuntu, and this kind of got to the point where I went, you know what, I'm going to do something to just go to what is working for me and what works good. Plus it's summertime. I don't want to spend a lot of time looking at different distros or spending, you know, an hour here, a half hour there in front of the computer. So I threw Linux Mint 1803 with the Cinema desktop onto the machine I'm on right now. And you know what? I couldn't be more tickled pink other than the fact it just plain works.
Awesome. Yeah, I have Linux Mint Mate, this one. Linux Mint Cinnamon in one of my ThinkPads. And I'm very happy that I got it to burn CDs. I fixed that. Switch, check your email if you want to join. I sent you a link on your Hotmail account, I think. Yeah, check that. Hi, Heather. Welcome. How are you? Yeah, Heather, you join in sometimes for the Biddle show, Big Daddy Linux, don't you? I think. If it's the same Heather I'm thinking of. Hi. Kyrie, welcome. How you doing? Yeah, I wanted to give a big shout out to Switch to Linux for joining in on the Friday night stream. We had a nice long conversation on privacy in Linux, Ubuntu, pros and cons, potentials. It was an awesome conversation with all of us, but primarily between Switch and Michael from Tux Digital. The information was superb. Um,
Really good
and
conversation.
yeah, it's all about you guys and gals getting the conversation and making the decision if you feel safe in whatever operating system you are using. And that's what it's all about. Personally, I feel fine in Ubuntu and Linux. This Friday night, as usual, Tim OS, 10 p.m. Eastern New York time, local time, GMT -4 or something.
4 for you.
Yeah, same time, Tim.
Did you see this? Keegan the Tennessean just let the cat out of the bag.
Oh,
Would you look at that?
happy birthday to
To
Heather.
you.
Happy
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday, dear Heather. Happy birthday
to
you.
you. Bada boom.
And many
Hi,
more.
Heather. Happy birthday. And many
You know what
more.
You know what I just realized? Neither you or I have a singing and dancing career in our future.
No. I could have said it like more seductively. Happy birthday. In my radio voice. Happy
Oh, yeah.
birthday, Heather. See, it's friendly and seductive.
Oh, I thought you were going down the road of like a Marilyn Manson, or not
No.
Marilyn Manson, Marilyn Monroe type of.
Happy birthday, Mist. I hope Heather's single. If not, I'm in trouble.
Oh boy.
I know Marilyn Monroe, that clips. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yep. Heather, a very heartfelt happy birthday to you and many, many returns, my dear.
You're welcome, Heather. You are welcome. She posted a very nice looking piece of cake in the Destination Linux Telegram. Nice, nice. Heather, happy 20th birthday. I don't know.
I was going to say like 29th.
Ah,
And if you keep wishing people the happy 29th birthday, they can decide what anniversary of that 29th birthday that they are celebrating.
okay. Well, people ask me how old I am. I'm like 40 plus tax. Oh, Jeff learns Linux. Jeff, my friend from Canada, eh? Hello, Jeff. How are you? You're here to crash the party? Good luck. Oh, Jeff and I have chatted before. It's been a while, but Jeff, welcome to the stream. How are you, Jeff? Jeff, do you use Linux? Or are you strictly Linux? I don't know anymore. Do you dual boot? I know at one time you were somewhat of a distro hopper, right? I do believe. Well, tonight we're going to talk about Windows, the top 5 reasons why I think Windows is not fun. This party crashed a while ago. Okay, well, Linux hasn't crashed on me, Switch.
Switched her to singing. That's what the problem was. Everybody's trying to adjust their speakers.
Make sure you guys watch my last upload of talking about live Linux privacy. I posted a little funny things in there. Should I give it away, what I posted? If you watch that video, Michael from Tux Digital was having problems jumping on. So I wrote, you'll have to excuse Michael, he's having problems jumping on Windows 10 in the stream. I said, no, I'm just kidding. And then I wrote, he's having trouble in Linux, you know. And then if you guys fast forward to the 13-minute 50-second mark or something like that, Joe saw them. Tom, Switch was fiddling around with his desk or computer. I forget what Tom was doing. Now with Google Hangouts, if you talk or make a noise, the mic switches to you, and if I talk, it just auto switches. Well, he's making noises, but Tom was like out of the picture. You hear noises, but you don't see him, and it happened like 3, 4, 5 times. It was a little bit awkward. It was no big deal, but I thought this is good timing because we were talking about Linux privacy and hiding from the corporate people, as it were, and being paranoid. So in the shot where Tom is making noise but you can't see him, I wrote, you'll have to excuse Tom, he's being paranoid, so he's hiding.
I actually wrote something to the effect is what he's doing, like a carpet install without moving any of the furniture.
Ah, right. Hi, Tom.
Speak of the man himself.
Speak of the devil. Joe, I'll send you a link. Let's make it a party tonight. A party for Heather, for Heather's birthday. There we go. How's that? Let me go here.
Okay.
How's it going tonight, Switched?
Oh, not too bad. I'm just gonna look for the comment thread so I can put that up. How you doing?
All right, Joe, look for the link, Google
Not
Hangouts, and you can jump on if you want to.
I got over the hellacious whatever it was that I had,
Yeah.
and I'm feeling
That is
tremendously
good.
better.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't show on my feed that you're streaming live.
You know what? I saw something. One of the corporate guys from YouTube it was one of their blogs, and I caught it, and he explained why that doesn't happen. I'll have to go back and take a look and take notes. But I remember seeing it, and I was half tired. I'm like, oh, now that makes sense. But I forget exactly what he said. I don't want to misquote this guy from YouTube. But that's when I saw it. Now I know why it does. You don't always get the bell sound or whatever. But if I find it, I'll take some notes and get back.
Yeah. Well, I don't have notifications turned on anything, so
Oh, well then that's why.
I never get notification. No, you should always have though a red circle next to your name if you're streaming.
Okay.
You did not.
Now he was talking more about the notification bell and the other thing, but that you should get at least. Yeah.
Interesting. My volume does not actually adjust the volume.
I can hear you fine.
I can hear you.
I can hear you too loud.
Ah, okay.
And if it's that loud, I'm going to be screaming, and the neighbor probably won't like it.
You'll have the Russian guy come over, I will break you.
You'll have the Russian guy come over. There we are.
Switched, you'll be happy. I got rid of Ubuntu, and I threw what works back on my daily use machine, and that'd be Mint with the Cinnamon desktop. Because Tom says it works for just about everything.
Yeah, pretty much. How's it working so far?
I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 other machines with Mint Cinnamon 1803 on it, and it's kind of like, it's like the old Buick. You put the keys in, you turn it, it starts, and it gets you where you need to go.
Yep. I had. Speaking of old fun car stuff, my pass lock system decided it wanted to foul up a little bit this morning. I'm like, oh boy. So.
All right. Okay, we have enough viewers for this unscheduled event. So again, welcome everybody. And again, check out the last upload I did, Linux Privacy Part 2. Nice informational talk about Linux, pros and cons about privacy between ourselves, and of course Switch to Linux and Michael from Tux Digital. My many thanks to both of you guys.
In opposing corners.
No, well, this is all about this. Well, in this corner, weighing in at 200 pounds, is Switch to Linux, and at this corner, and I don't know what Michael weighs, but anyway. But it was good. It was good. It was good information. And is Ubuntu spyware? Watch the video. In my opinion, no, at least not compared to what Windows 10 is doing. But I still feel safer in Linux than I do in Windows. So there's my answer. But watch the video. There's a few laughs in it. Good conversation, pros and cons, opposing viewpoints. But the community is all about technology. Then you decipher. You choose what is best for you. And it should always be that way. So
it was a good conversation, Tom.
Yeah.
It was a really good conversation. I appreciated both of your guys' viewpoints.
Yeah. Hopefully Michael will jump on maybe Friday night when I do the normal Friday night show for this channel. But Michael from Tux Digital, thank you too. All right, we are ready. This is Total OS Today, Total Technology for Beginners and Beyond. My name is Carmine, and I have Tom Switch to Linux and Tim. I'll tell you a funny story about my story. Greetings, Tim. When I used to live in Florida, I had a UPS guy knock on the door. He says, "Package for Carmini." Really? Really? Carmini? Carmine, like that car is mine? Oh, never mind. But true story, in Florida. Okay, so for tonight's discussion, by the way, check all the links below in the show notes. If you would like to support the channel, everything is down there, and Amazon links and all that stuff. And you can catch a sneak peek trailer of my dad's unfinished project, his movie. Check that out.
Don't forget to do a thumbs up for Carmine as well.
Thank you. All right. Joe, check your email. I sent you a link if you want to join. And Heather, happy birthday again. All right, tonight, my top 5 reasons. I'm going to do a top 5 instead of Switch tonight. My top 5 reasons why Windows 10 is painful. I thought of another word, but this is a family show, so we'll just go why Windows 10 is painful. I did updates the last couple of days on multiple machines in Windows 10. I guess there's the Spring Creators update or something like that. It took forever. Anyway, my top 5 reasons. Reason number 5, updates take too long. I wish there was like a meter or a counter. 30 minutes to go, 6 days to go. Give me something. All it says is this may take a while. Thanks, Microsoft. You know, I could grow a beard by the time everything gets done sometimes, you know. But that's reason number 5. Updates take too long as opposed to Linux. They don't take that long. Reason number 4, too many reboots. I like to give the boot to Microsoft for rebooting all the time. And again, not knowing when it's done. In Linux, you do the updates, you reboot maybe once, and you're done. If that. So that's reason number 4. Number 3, you have to defrag. With SSD, no, you don't have to defrag. But generally, you don't have to defrag in Linux. So that's reason number 3. Reason number 2, you need to maintain it. Antivirus, anti-spyware, run the scans. I don't do that in Linux. I probably should. Maybe Tom can comment on that later. But you probably should do that in Linux, but you have to do it in Windows. You have to maintain the system, even though Windows 10 is secure. I didn't say private.
I don't run antivirus in Windows.
Okay. All right. So if you guys want to attack me and Tom, you're more than welcome to. No.
If you can get through my firewall, you deserve to infect my machine.
There's a challenge. Yeah.
Of course, I don't want to say that too loud.
I know.
Because someone will win.
Watch somebody in Silicon Valley, California, go, watch this, you know, like mini-me, you know, but... So yeah, run the antivirus. Again, Windows 10 is secure. I didn't say private, but it is secure. It's probably the most secure Windows 10 against, you know, ransomware and stuff like that. Speaking of privacy, Windows 10 is secure, but it's not private. By number 1 reason, Tom, you probably know, it's the spying game in Windows 10. That's why I think Tom dropped Windows 10, because of the politics behind it.
Correct.
Nobody likes it.
It was entirely due to the spying.
They weren't transparent, and number 2, there's no master on-off switch, so I can pick and choose. You can sort of now, but it's not what I was looking for. But yeah, it's the telemetry, the data, the sharing of data that you don't want to share.
Yeah.
That is number 1.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's it. So to recap, too many updates takes too long, too many reboots, you have to defrag, you need to run antivirus, even though me and Tom are Mavericks, we don't use antivirus or scanners in Linux, and if I get attacked, I'm going to call Tom, but no, if I get attacked in Linux. Number 1 reason, we'll just call it spyware. Tom, what do you have to say?
Well, I was going to say that, just a comment on that new thing. They're saying you can now delete the data. It's only after they've sent it. So they already have the data.
Right. They've gotten what they needed. And then they'll kind of like throw you a bone. After they steal the steak, as it were, here's the bone, right? So Joe is in the house. Hey, Joey, what's up?
Hello.
So tonight
Hello,
we're talking
Joseph.
about, hello. We're talking about the top 5 reasons why I find Windows 10 painful. You know, probably for most customers, they could have dealt with the first 4 reasons I gave and not think twice, but the last one is what ticked off a lot of people. And of course, the last year was the forced upgrades, you know, in the middle of doing something. And somebody sued Microsoft, and I think she won. There was a forced upgrade, and she was like a lawyer or something, and she lost the information, and she won, and she won.
Her case was specific though. Her case was it was for a small business, and she was able to prove the requirement of using her computer for her small business, and how the forced update prevented her from doing her business, and she was able to prove financial business losses due to a forced unaccepted upgrade, and that's how she was able to get the cases.
Okay.
I thought she was a travel agent, I think is what she was.
It could be some kind of business, where she needed her system. It was vital. But but good for her. But I've read in the blog where Microsoft, the corporate heads, were surprised at the backlash at the telemetry. I mean, like, are they all a bunch of idiots there? I mean, what if somebody broke into your house and took your stuff? Oh, it's no big deal, right?
They're going to play it off as innocent, you know that, because it's just, you know, they want to make it seem like it's no big deal, and in fact, it is. And I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, because it pushed me over the edge, because we live in. I've said this before. We live in a world of lack of choices.
Right.
You know, you have to pay the fuel prices to heat your house. Pay the fuel prices to run your car. You know, you have to pay the internet prices. All that stuff. And when it came to this, to be forcefully put in that position that they were going to take my information, I had no say on it. And then their argument was, yes, you had a say. You didn't have to agree to the EULA. Well, where does that leave people if they want to use Windows then, and they don't know about Linux or care to try it or whatever, or go to Mac, which is not necessarily any less invasive, just less vocal about it. You know, so I think that's the issue there, is being one more time with your arm forced behind your back. You know, and to me, I'm grateful to some extent. It still frustrates me that I had to be put in that position, but at the same token, I like where I'm at better with this, and I like the fact that I don't have my Windows machine online and ever. I just use it once a month or once a week or whenever I need to do my bookwork, and that's it. You know,
well,
and I wish I didn't need it for that.
What's sad, they didn't have to go that route.
That's right.
They could have said, here's an upgrade to Windows 10 for free for the first 6 months if you have, a legit Windows 7 or 8. However, we're going to do this. We would like to have some telemetry, bug reports, okay, system okay, and extra stuff, and give me a choice of what to toggle on or off, or a master on-off switch. That's all. That's all they had to do. And I would have volunteered some information based on what I decide to give them. They could have got it.
Yeah, but the problem with that, Carmine, is they can't make money off of you with that. That's what this is about, is because now that's why this product that they have, which that's what it is, digital or otherwise, is a product. But the reality of it is that's why they offered it for free, because now we are the product, because they're taking whatever they could take of our information, whatever's on our system, whatever else, and they're basically mining it for money that every third party they could sell it to.
Then they could have given us a choice. If we give it to you for free, we want this. If you pay for it, then we'll give you back your all your privacy. Maybe that could have been an option. I don't know.
Well, and could you have trusted them to really do that though too?
I don't know. We never had that choice. Again, it comes down to choice, and they didn't give us that choice.
Yeah. I have a question. First and foremost, all the Windows update stuff. I completely avoided it because I've been Linux, a little bit of Mac, but Linux. Does Microsoft build into their business model the idea that they're going to make less money selling the software and more money off of data collection from their users?
I believe to some extent that's the case. It's third-party apps that they're selling in their App Store. Well, not third-party, excuse me. Let me correct myself. It's their apps and your data that they could sell to third-party vendors or whoever they're selling it to is where the money's at. And from what I understand, the operating system is actually a fraction of their income now. Okay.
Because every PC that goes out the door of any manufacturer, they're paying essentially nothing to put Windows onto the machine, aren't they?
Yeah.
True and correct? I mean, dimes. We're not, to put Windows on the machine.
Well, data is profitable. Content, for some, is profitable. Maybe that's what they had in mind from the beginning. Maybe that's what they had in mind even with Windows 8, although all this started, I think, with Windows 10, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. But they gave us something for free. They wanted something in return, and they got it. Boy, did they get it.
Well, you would tend to think with Microsoft, it started with Windows 10, but let's face it, Microsoft has some pretty smart, some people roaming their halls that are pretty dang smart.
Right.
You would tend to think that as they saw the technology trends. How long ago were they thinking of this? Was this back in XP, Windows 7?
No, I think it's when the head of Microsoft now took over. And
So it's probably the Windows 8 era is when they started to see some of this. This is that one he took over.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because and then that's why they backported the telemetry into 8 and 7 too, which they did not. They did not tell anybody they were doing that, although they claim it was their right to do because you still approve the EULA and all that stuff, which that's their way around it. But the other thing too is that was the fact that they could reach into your files and be the cyber police and say, "Oh, we don't like what we see in here. This could be illegal. We're going to delete it, or we're going to turn it over to the authorities and we're going to shut down your computer." I don't know that that's ever happened, but that's also one of the things that was discussed that they can do. So it just feels like somebody's staring at you through the bathroom window while you're taking a shower. I hate to say that, you know. So, and I do agree with you, Carmine. You've always said, which is true, the OS for what it is and how it functions and all that, it's fantastic. It really is. I mean, Windows 7 was fantastic, but there's things about Windows 10 that work really well. But the updates still do break many people's machines, you know, for whatever reason, you know. But it's probably no different than Linux too. I mean, you come out with a kernel update, and all of a sudden it doesn't agree with something that somebody's got.
Yeah, anything's possible. I mean, I really haven't had a problem with stuff breaking. Again, I don't like the update process. It seems like, you know, Microsoft Windows has regressed the way they do updates. Linux has progressed. It just takes too long. And it's like, okay, will this be 20 minutes? Will this be 20 hours? Will I grow a beard by the time it's done? I mean, you just don't know. I did a couple updates these past 2 days on 2 machines. It's like, it ain't done yet. I mean, you know, but given all that, I could still deal with it if they didn't pull the spyware thing. I could deal with that because it just works. Joe, it just works. Gaming is fantastic. I don't worry about graphics drivers. Is this compatible? It's going to work. It's going to freaking work. But nobody likes to be spied on.
Well, it makes you wonder, though. Think about this. It makes you wonder why the updates are so heavy and intrusive for as frequently as they're being done. You know, really think about that. It's almost like you're getting a new OS every time they're doing it. It's like, what is it searching? Unless it's the only thing I could think of is it's scraping your computer every time it goes in there.
It could be. It could be. Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. And then the other thing is why not say, okay,
I will be right back.
Okay. Tom,
updates that are due. It's gonna, like you said, it's gonna take X amount of time. If you don't want to do it now, click here and then schedule a time when it's convenient for you, so you know to leave your machine on, you walk away, whatever. You know, how is it just because it didn't go down? But it was kind of the joke. But remember the weather forecaster that when they were first pushing it to get Windows 10, it pops up on the screen. That still invaded somebody's business, basically.
Yes.
You know, so as funny as it wasn't funny when you think about it.
The one thing that kind of kills me is, and I have very little, other than hearing people's complaints and pain in doing Windows updates. I don't have a lot of personal experience with it, but does not, if I'm true and correct in my thought, isn't part of Microsoft's overall marketing stick in using Windows or Microsoft branded products, i.e. software, isn't one of their big things is get more done quickly?
Yeah.
There's sometimes I've heard a tagline kind of like that.
It is.
You know, just get it done or something like that. And to me, how in the heck are you going to get anything done when you have to take? And lo and behold, whenever these updates hit, to me it's kind of sounding like they hit it the most inopportune time. You know, they hit you at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when, you know, for crying out loud, most people are on their PCs at 2 in the afternoon trying to get the work done so they can go home at 5 o'clock.
I don't know what they were thinking. You know, when I first saw Windows 8, I'm like, wow, this is cool. It's different. They're doing something different. They're taking a chance. And I remember testing it, and I liked it. Just put back the start button, and you have a win. have a winner. They didn't listen to me and a lot of other consumers. There was backlash. Then they brought back 8.1. It was kind of a start menu. Now Windows 10 is kind of like a combo package of Windows 8 with the start. They just, who's making these decisions? Are they talking? Are they taking a sampling poll of normal people and say, hey, if we do this, will you like this? If we do that, will you don't like it? I mean, common sense. But they don't care.
Push the updates out in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know, amazing to me.
But that's under the assumption that people aren't working at night, and there are still people that work at night too.
Yeah.
So
very
that's
true.
why I said if they give you the choice on when you want to do the updates on your particular system, or if it's a company and they know that they've got people working 3 shifts around the clock, and they say, well, we've got, you know, these systems are going to be down for an hour, which who knows if they could afford to be down for an hour.
In most cases, they can. Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is anymore. But
Spudley says, but it's innovation. Yes, Spudley.
Yeah.
Hi, Spudley. Is this your first time to the stream? I don't remember. If it is, welcome. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat so I don't miss anybody. Somebody mentioned bring back the Commodore 64. If it'll run fast, update it, sure. Why not?
I don't even know if the Commodore 64 could go online.
Well, it would have to be a new version of it, you know, like the Commodore 2018 or something, you know.
I don't think the Commodore 64 could have went online back in its day.
I don't think so. Yeah,
I know that my Texas Instruments one of the coolest things I could do is plug in a tape recorder.
Yeah.
That was pretty slick.
Well, I posted a video recently, well, yesterday or the day before, about a Commodore 64, where you could actually, if you remember right, if something failed in there, you could actually unplug it and plug another one right in and keep going. And then you can take the other one apart and just basically pull the chips right off. They're plug-and-play chips. Pull them right off and replace the chips.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is Spudley's first time, I think. So everybody, we have a customer on the show. Anybody new, please say hello to Spudley. That's why I do these shows at different times. Hello, welcome.
Hello, Spudley.
Hi, Spudley. Matthew Fortunato, KDE Plasma is your love now. Awesome. Only boot up Windows for school work sometimes. Okay. Matthew that sounds Italian. Matthew Fortunato, eh?
Yeah.
How are you? So Matthew, do you...
Sounds like it's made of Fortunato.
Yeah. So Matthew, do you have an iPhone? No, just kidding. But welcome, Matthew. I don't know if it's your first time, but welcome. I love Skybear the Bionic Flying. That sounds like a Marvel movie. Skybear the Bionic Flying Bear.
It sounds like a crazy long CB handle to me.
Ah. 10-4, a good buddy, Skybear. Did you catch any God, I remember those days as a kid, you know.
Yeah.
Put the hammer down. Anyway.
I have kind of a cool story that
yeah.
I'd like to share that's happened to me in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I happen to have some downtime, and I was able to, during the day, and I was able to jump on to another YouTuber's channel, and kind of caught sight of some of the chat, and there's an individual in the chat who was kind of needing some help with something, and it just happened to work out very well for me to be able to put the time and effort and a little bit of an investment into helping somebody, and that was really cool to do. And it's, you know, I see that more and more in certain YouTubers channels where people are reaching out and they're more than welcome to try to help somebody out with a, you know, be it a technical issue or you know, I've even seen people try to help raise people's attitudes if they're having one of those down days, and it was really cool to be able to do that. And it's cool that the few YouTubers that I do watch really promote that. It was really neat. It was really neat to be able to do something nice for somebody else. And we had talked. Toss had a video or a stream last week talking about if it's ever okay to hate. And the first thing that came to mind was that. And you know, if there's anything I can do to any of the folks that are in the chat, or if you're watching this video at a later date, if you have a chance to help somebody out, do it. To me, it doesn't make a difference what it is you have material-wise. It shouldn't make a difference what you have in your checking account. If you have have the chance to help somebody do it. Toss brought up some very good points on his stream last week, and I think it's something that I think all of us can learn from. And
I need to step out again.
All right, Tom.
Good.
And it was neat that person allowed me to help them out, because sometimes people don't like being helped out. Let's face it, we're humans, and sometimes we just want to do it on our own. Sometimes we can't do it, and it was nice to be able to do that. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
I can't think of anything more satisfyingly selfish than to help someone when you can, and they don't expect it. They feel good, and you feel even better for doing it.
Yep.
I mean, that's how if you're capable. If you can't, you can't. If you don't have the facilities, but if you can, do it.
Yep.
You know, they say laughter is the best medicine. Sometimes giving is the best medicine, as it were.
Yep.
If you can. So.
Yeah, Heather made a comment saying the Linux community is great.
It is.
You know what? You're not going to get this type of treatment, at least as far as I know. I don't think you're going to get this type of treatment out of some of the people using other OSs.
I've never been there. I don't know. I hope they could.
I hope I'm wrong with that thought. But
yeah. For those of you joining in late, it is Heather's birthday. If you would like to say happy birthday to Heather, I'll make her blush again.
After we sung, I don't think she was blushing.
Yeah, I know. She was like, oh, God, I'm going to throw up. No, just kidding.
Yeah, where were you when we were singing, Joe?
I just walked in the. I literally just walked in the room as that you were tail end of singing it.
Yeah. See, the little do we all know is Joe moonlights. He has a. He has a Tony Bennett impersonation act. He does it Friday and Saturday nights at a local casino.
No, actually, if you want to hear me sing halfway decent, I got to get in the shower, and that ain't happening.
Please, no.
Yeah. So.
Well, Heather said she was blushing.
Yeah.
Stephen Anner, am I using Windows tonight? No, maybe I should have, since I was talking about Windows, but I'm in my Linux Mint Mate. I was using it Monday night just to make sure it was working, but tonight I am not using Windows. Windows right now is my backup OS. I want to play games, stuff like that, but I use primarily Linux right now. That's how good some Linux has gotten. Not all the desktops. I won't say to some to be try Arch and have a good time, or Gentoo. But right now this is Linux Mint Mate, and my other machine I have Ubuntu Mate, and my ThinkPad, one of them I have Linux Mint Cinnamon. And my machine that I was nuts enough to live stream with less than a gig of RAM, and it worked, that's Peppermint. So again, you have choices in Linux. You have choice. Not all the choices may be good, but you don't need all the choices to be good. You just need some of them to be good, right? So, but that's what I use, Matthew. Linux Mint Mate, 18.3. Then I'll probably upgrade when the next one comes out. I believe they're going to be posting the testing ISO soon, the betas, but I'll probably wait.
I still say you need to try Studio, though. I am kind of busting at the gut here a little bit to get back on Mate, the Point Edition, only because I want to see if it works a little better for me than the 1804 did. 1710 was fabulous, but I have to tell you, other than a couple of little just minor things with this, and when I mean minor, when I send a print signal to my printer in Mate, boom, it comes on and it prints. In this one, it comes on instantly, but it takes 15 seconds or more, or 20 seconds, whatever it is, for it to actually spool and spit it out. So I don't know if it looks like the same driver in there, but I mean, I can live with that. The point is this thing is snappy, it's quick, it's been stable. The funny thing is I don't see any update notices, but that could be my fault because I'm constantly checking for updates. But it's been really a good distro. So I think if anybody wants to try, and I best I could tell, I don't know if I got HTOP in here or not, but it seems to be. Yeah, I do. It's running fairly light too.
Well, doesn't that version expire in 2 months though, because it's based off of 1710, right?
Well, 1804, yeah, it's not a long-term release. But
right.
I'm just saying, if you want to try it, just to try it.
I guess I could.
it would be kind of fun. Yeah, I put it on here just because I knew I was going to be going back to Mate anyway. And honestly, whenever they do get a long-term release for this coming out, I will reload it. The sad part, unless they let you update from here, and I could try the update and see if I got better luck that way. But
I might try it off a USB stick or a virtual machine but this is my desktop, Matthew, Linux Bit Mate, with a nice picture of Amalfi, of the Amalfi Coast, I believe. Someone posted this on Facebook. It's not mine, so that looks nice. Doesn't that look nice? A nice breakfast or lunch or whatever. That looks absolutely stunning.
There we go with the food again.
I know, but someone
hungry.
asked what distro. I'm using the food distro. No.
Meatball Linux.
Mate.
Yeah, what the distro too said, mate and meatballs.
Mate and meatballs.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, there's a new person in the chat, Horace. I've never seen them before.
Okay.
Shout out to Horace, and Horace asked if anyone is in a helping mood, I could use some help with Java programming. I don't know Java whatsoever, but before his comment kind of disappears here, maybe Switched has a good maybe he's got a good place to point Horace to.
I believe Coding Commander may have been able to.
Give me that question again.
Yeah.
He's needing some help with Java programming. You got a good resource for him?
Java or JavaScript?
Let's see what Horace has to say if he's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Java. Okay. Well, because a lot of the business, particularly in newbies in the field, are you talking about Java or JavaScript?
Yes, pronouns.
In which case, just get some online tutorials. I don't know of any specific ones off the top. There's some good books.
Howdy, guys.
Hi, Ben.
Hi,
Welcome
Ben.
to the stream.
Hi, Toss.
So tonight we were talking about my top 5 reasons why Windows 10 is a pain. Does anybody else have other reasons? My top 5 reasons are updates take too long, too many reboots, defragging, you need to run antivirus, and of course the spyware game. Those are my top 5. There's more, but I'm gonna stick it with that.
Well, I kind of am with you on all those points, Toss, because I'm using Windows 10 alongside Manjaro on this laptop. My own custom Manjaro, that is. And I will say, it's a hell horse of a nightmare.
Manjaro?
No, the Windows boot.
Oh, okay.
Manjaro makes Arch look easy. But I will say that Windows 10, I'm almost grinding my hair out all the time when I use it. The only reason I get into it is for my games. That's it. That's the only legitimate reason I boot into it.
Gaming is good.
Yes. The only reason I boot into that is for when I have to game. That's it.
Gaming is maybe next time I'll do a gaming live stream for Windows 10 Asphalt 8 Airborne.
That would be funny. You see, I play Star Wars based games. I'm a
Okay.
Star Wars fanboy.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm in Linux 99% of the time.
I don't know. I'm still waiting for a reply. Any other reasons for Windows 10 that it's painful?
Well, the updates.
I think the theme is pretty good,
Yeah.
personally.
Theme? Really? Okay.
Yeah, you can't really theme it very well. I mean, but like,
Hey, now we have a dark theme at least.
Ooh.
yeah, that does help. But other than that, the antivirus, the famous blue screen of death for one thing.
Yeah.
And then, the maintaining level is major. And also reinstalling all your crap onto it, too. For that matter. If you have to, that is. That's kind of a nuisance, but not really. And also, having to help people with it can be another valid reason it can be a pain in the neck. I mean, the tech support level can also be kind of a drag.
Well, I don't really do a lot of customizing like Linux or theming. So as far as that in Windows 10, that never really occurred to me that much. Because once I have it set, I just want it to be stable and work. But I can see if you're into customization, Windows 10, at least out of the box, Now with third-party apps, you
very
can.
pretty looking. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, again, I'm just, can I read it? Can I see it? Does it work? Same thing in Linux. Can I read it, see it? Does it work? Do my specific apps work? In Windows 10, they do. But the update process, that's probably, well, the spyware thing is my number one thing, but the update process is probably a close number two that I despise,
The little bit that I've seen of Windows, how can I say this? Windows 10, and just looking at it at face value,
yeah,
it didn't look horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, I used to do all the, theming and customization and everything else. Right now, about the only thing I've done with Cinnamon is change my wallpaper on Mint, and that's about as far as I go nowadays.
Yeah.
But, Windows didn't look bad. It didn't look bad. And as far as the dark theme, it's nice that they caught up to us. We've only had dark themes for what, 4 or 5 years now.
Right. Again, the theming thing in Windows, it's Look, compared to the theming thing is not that big of an issue. But Matthew asks, is there a way to block out all the spyware in Windows? You can, I believe, registry hacks, but you can also break the system.
Yeah, there's another thing you can do, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this has been patched or not, but I actually originally did a shell script that took out pretty much everything.
Okay.
Which is very effective.
The problem is with no matter what you come out, there's different little software script programs that people run, kind of like what Tom was talking about, and things like that. You can go in and manually take out the telemetry registry stuff.
Yes.
The problem is the next update comes up, puts it all back in again.
And then you got to redo it like a cat and mouse game. Yeah.
Yeah, you're never going to get ahead of it. And again, that's why I think that when their updates are happening and why they're so heavy and intrusive is because of not only are they probably rebuilding or scraping the system to see if there's many changes in the registry, but I also think they're scraping your system for whatever they're going to look in the mine out of you. So, I mean, to me, that just would make the most logical sense. There's no other explanation that I could think of why it would be so heavy and take so long.
I think if Linux on the desktop market share was, like instead of 3%, it was 30%, and it chipped away at Microsoft, then they might take notice and say, maybe we should drop this data collection thing because we're losing customers to the other side. Just speculating, But the Linux market share, desktop Linux, is not that great compared to, what we have in Windows. There's lots of reasons. A lot of it can be confusion, troubles with multimedia still, graphics drivers. Not blame the developers or any specific entity. That's just the way it is. But for many years, I've been saying that the only company, well, there's two companies, but Google has the resources to build a true Linux desktop. They're kind of hinted with adding Android apps, I believe, now to Chromebooks, which would be great. But they can do it. Now, Amazon may come into the fray. I don't know. But until Microsoft sees a threat to their business, they're going to keep doing what they're doing because they can. It's that simple.
Well, and that's why they're putting their arms around Linux, too, I think, to some extent.
It's kind of like... it's like the saying in The Godfather, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Enemies closer.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing...
What does Apple have for a desktop market share right now? Any idea?
I don't know. I haven't looked lately.
Yeah, I haven't looked. What they're at.
But one of my friends has all Apple, and she says it works. She's got the iPhone, the tablet, everything gels together, understandable. And if there's a problem, they take care of it. She bought her new iMac January, and the hard drive went out like a couple months later. She went to the Apple store in Pittsburgh. She dropped it off. She got it back in 48 hours, like that. They replaced everything's hunky-dory, So you're paying probably more for the service than the product. But Apple, look, a lot of higher-end personalities on YouTube, people with 1 million subscribers, they primarily use Apple. It's for a reason. They don't use Windows or Linux. They just stick with Apple for the multimedia applications, which I think is fantastic for what I understand. I don't have an Apple iMac. I don't know, but from what I see, that's all they use. They won't even consider Windows, let alone Linux, because they don't have the time to tinker with stuff and fix things.
Well, and in fairness though, too, my son is a big Apple user, and he's had his fair share of headaches. My son-in-law too. They come out with a, believe it or not, if you want to call it a point release or the next operating system upgrade, and they literally physically break their systems to where they have to drive them up to the Apple store and hope they can get in and get them fixed. Like he does DJing, he's actually a radio personality.
Okay.
My son-in-law, and he's had, which I told him, I said, the first thing you order of business is you don't do an upgrade right before you got a gig coming up, because if that happens, and that's happened twice to him, and my son also has had the same thing. So the thing is, I think the difference with Apple is it's out there, and yes, it gets publicized, but it's not beaten to death like with Windows, because Windows has put themselves in that limelight more so, I think.
I don't believe the spying issue is as bad in Apple as it is in Windows. From
well, you just don't see it as much.
Yeah.
About it, I think. And the other thing that the biggest complaint with Apple is you're paying these exorbitant prices for 4-year-old architecture, 4 or 5-year-old architecture. They don't update the hardware and the systems, and when they do charge for, as an example, for 16 gigs of RAM, maybe you could buy it. At the time, when my son was doing it, was $300, which is probably more expensive now, $300 and something. They wanted $600.
Wow.
Yep.
So and that's the other thing.
The market share question, I actually did a Google search, and netmarketshare.com has 6 entries on their website. They have Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Chrome OS, Unknown, and BSD. And per this, I'm not sure if this is reputable, Windows is at 88.59%. Mac OS is at 8.69%. Linux is at 2.29%. And Chrome OS is at 0.31%, 1/3%.
Okay. Well, Chromebooks sell pretty good, like with schools and
Yep. I'm surprised Chrome OS is that low. In fact, with as much as I've seen the Chromebooks pushed.
I think if we had the voice of the Linux desktop, who would that be, or what would that? Let's say it was Ubuntu Mate, because that's what let's say that the FOSS community or whatever, the community got together and said, we want to promote the Linux desktop as a choice. So we're going to pick this specific Linux desktop. We're going to market it. We're going to put it out there in Walmart, Best Buy, whatever, and we promise you it's going to work out of the box, and it'll be cheaper, obviously cheaper than Apple and cheaper than Windows, because we want you to give it a crack, give it a shot. People would take a chance.
Absolutely. They've taken a chance on Chromebooks.
Right, and it works out of the box. Now, it's not as robust. The machines aren't, but then you're not paying that kind of money either. But if there was, I think Walmart tried it 10 years ago. You could walk into the store and buy a Linux machine. I think it was GOS, I think. So I downloaded it and tried it. It was horrible. It was the worst implementation. And I have a saying, you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. Walmart blew it. The developers blew. I don't know what happened. I'm like, oh my God, and it's sad because they took a crack at it. It was the wrong setup, the wrong partnership, But if they had plans with Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint, even plain Ubuntu today with GNOME, just give the people a chance to try it. But it has to work out of the box. They don't want to tinker with it, fiddle it, go into the terminal and add PPAs. Nope. They want it to work out. They'll buy it. If they see Windows 10 machine, $500, Ubuntu machine or whatever, $399 on sale, they're going to take a chance. Why not? Because you can always bring it back if it doesn't work. But they tried it and they blew it. And
You know,
I
it
don't
would be
know.
a good.
Yeah.
What could be a good fallback is get Linux on a machine, and let the individual buying the machine, let them have a run with Linux. If they absolutely dislike it, if they hate it, have a link built into the machine that will download and install Windows onto it.
Well, with that though, you'd have to deal with the licensing stuff to go with it.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to keep the prices where they're at. Yep,
Yeah,
true
it's a
and correct.
fascinating. It's a fascinating topic. I think better would be, you know, if you go to Best Buy, there's an Apple representative there at Best Buy. Maybe we should have a Linux geek representative at, you know, at Best Buy, so they can walk you through it. Maybe give you the choice of the desktop environment. You know, teach them that you have more choices, or do we want to make the choices for them? Like, I don't think something like GNOME or something would be good because it's not as intuitive for a regular user.
But just
Not
to get
as
something
familiar.
out there stable that works, because
Like-
GNOME does work. It's
Yeah,
not the
like-
most friendly, but it works. It works.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not. What I'm saying is, it's not intuitive.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, Mate or Cinnamon or XFCE,
Right,
very
right.
intuitive to most people. Maybe even your Mac users. Your Mac users might, you know, do better with GNOME, but I don't know.
No, I
Well,
totally
Mac
agree. Yeah.
Probably is more similar to an Apple, if you think about it, in many ways, other than it's got the second, you know, taskbar on the bottom. But the nice thing is you could change the theming in there, you know, and just by a click of a button and have that Mac or Apple look. You know, so and that's the problem is, you know, everybody's got this opinion of Linux. Well, the only thing it's good for is if you're just typing up Word documents and searching the web. Well, that's not true. You could do a lot more with it than that. Now, the other side of the coin is, though, everybody equates, well, if you can't do Adobe, we don't do Linux because you have to have Windows. Well, honestly, there's other software, there's other programs that are needed specifically on Windows, depending on your use. If you're a commercial business, you got to run CNC machine. There's a program that's probably Windows-based. It's not Linux-based, more than likely. You know, there are a lot of, but see, a lot of these software companies are going to cloud or internet-based applications, but they still, to some extent, require some kind of a native-based file on the system, kind of like a Snap does or whatever on Linux. So, you know, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was thinking, somebody mentioned Chuck Norris should be the voice of the Linux desktop in the store.
Oh wow!
Maybe Schwarzenegger. You must try Ubuntu. We will terminate Windows 10.
Keep
And
away
talk
from
it-
Ubuntu. We don't like Ubuntu. Go to with Linux Mint.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Well, you do not
Um,
allow on Windows 10.
Jean-Claude Van Damme go up against Chuck Norris and have a battle. Remember how they had the Linux, or not the Linux, the Apple and the the Windows
Joe.
commercial with
Yeah.
two guys side by side? Do that with these two guys knocking each other out.
Go. Question for you.
Yeah.
I'm installing a printer on Debian. I need to specify the device URI. There's a few possible options it could very well be. I have a DNSSD, LPD, or I have an auto. What do you think is going to be the best chance of success here?
Whichever one works. No.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out the first time.
It's been a while.
To find what is it? What'd you say was the LP?
LPD is what I'm thinking.
I think that's what it was on mine when I was loading them on here. Because
The
there's
other
like a-
options I could do auto, but the auto is going with the DNSSD.
Yeah, it depends on the device, though. Too. I hate to say that because each device might be different. Mine, I don't think was a DNSSD.
We're trying the LPD.
Well, there was. I know on mine there was an actual URI IP address I had to put in too. So I think whichever one's going to ask you for the IP address of the printer, that's the one you're going to want to go with.
Steve Gunick has a
If
go
that
with the
tells you.
voice. The voice should be the voice of Linux, Bruce Linux. What Ubuntu Mate? A good one. Oh man.
Are you putting in a cups driver? Is that what you're looking to do?
Well, I'm running a bash script. Let's see.
What kind of printer is it, Tom?
It is a brother printer.
You know what? I actually
That's
have
what I have as a brother.
I have a brother MFC J430, and when I use that bash script off of the brother site, I actually do not put in a URI. Yeah. And then the next question beyond that is, do you want to print a test page? And I hit yes. And I've never had a problem with it connecting, ever.
Did it find your printer, Tom?
Well, it sees the automatic. That's where it gave me the thing that I'm trying to track down an IP address for the printer now.
See, this is what scares off.
I'm gonna have to
Linux newbies. I gotta do a bash script.
Well, no. Okay, for the Linux newbies, let me tell you what I did is when I built this system, I specifically did not install any automatic device installers.
Okay.
Because I don't usually print off this computer. It just turns out that I need to, and so I never actually downloaded the drivers for the scanner utility. So I want to go ahead and give that a try.
Yeah, you have a screen on your printer that you could see with menu choices, because that's where it'll tell you the IP.
But it's actually going to be a lot faster for me to log into my router and look at it. So.
Well, that's one thing Windows has nailed: installing printers, not a problem.
It depends.
I never. I tried different brands in Windows, Canon, Lexmark. I've never had a problem. Now, sometimes the CD was outdated in the box with the drivers, but the free drivers reload or reboot. Okay, it has a go one. Uncle Guido says a bash script is when you got to bash someone in the head and write home about it.
Right.
Okay. I gotta mark this down on my notes here. That's one for Keegan.
Okay.
I think Joe is still ahead though. Yeah.
I have. I don't think I can pull to show this or not. No, I can't show this from how my system is. I have like 15 devices on my network right now. I'm a geek.
And you live alone, right, Tom?
I do.
Yes, you are a geek.
You should have the wallpaper of the Starship Enterprise bridge, Tom. That way that would complement everything, you know.
Well, he doesn't know it, but CJ's on the computer at night. Do you ever see that meme with the cat going like this?
Well, I mean, he does, but I know I can see him right now. He's sleeping.
Yeah.
So, I know it's not him.
You know, somebody posed a comment earlier about Google creating something away from the whole internet-centric thing of what Chrome OS is. Why do we think Google does not create an open source operating system? A true standalone open source operating system. They're already using Gentoo. They've already got the experience in-house.
I don't know.
And, you know,
maybe they are. Maybe they're working on.
Maybe they're working on
private. It could be. I mean, there's the market for it. There's the market for it. Yeah, but
yeah, they got to be able to monetize it. That's what it comes down to.
Well, if you're gonna buy a Google machine with a Google open source system on it, you're inevitably gonna have to sign up for a Google account.
We have John Henry Barrett Jr. I think you're new. Welcome to the stream. We have a customer and a custom on the stream. Anybody new? Say hello to John. He says, I really nailed the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee voice impressions. Thank you.
He said you're funny as hell, too. Yeah. It must be his first time.
Yeah. Well, Bruce Lee, I mean, Bruce is Bruce, but Arnold Schwarzenegger, anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Back with a 9mm. Move 5 meter spread, no sound for the people, to the charters.
Here they go again, Joe.
I wonder what happens to Arnold when he has to go to the bathroom after eating Taco Bell.
I'm going to take a crap.
Get to the crapper.
Yeah, there you go.
Get to the crapper.
There's the next rabbit hole.
Oh God. See, folks, you never know where this stream can lead to.
You never do.
And
you learn, and like I said before, you learn more here by accident than elsewhere by design.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to learn how to cook, Tom can teach you how to cook. You want to learn jokes, just follow me. You want to learn how to be mellow, just follow Tim and Joe, and you're all set, man.
Oh, wait a minute. You call me mellow? You don't know me too well yet.
At least on the stream.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man. Yeah, I do decent work. I do Tony Montana. You'll pick up a couple loads with your Linux, man. You're in good shape, okay?
Yeah, you know what? I reran the bash script. Do not specify device URI. It seems to have at least connected.
Yeah.
It connected without putting the URI in, Tom?
Yep, so you literally skipped that step. Let me check the test page.
Yeah, the only time I've used that is if I want to put the actual cups driver in from the manufacturer's website. And the reason why I tried that was because I was having problems. It doesn't recognize the scanner on here. So I put that in, and I got the scanner to work for about 10 minutes with the cups driver, and then it was all done again. Otherwise, I just let it do auto under most normal cases. But I thought there was a reason you wanted to specifically assign it, because again, it's usually driver driven for the device's, features. So
Live or Die says, I'd rather have Google get some Linux desktop dominance than MS release a free Windows version of Linux. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now Tom disappeared again. Oh, there he is.
I'm just grabbing stuff off the printer.
I know, he disappeared during Friday night stream for a little bit. And
Well, it's because this is kind of my time to tinker.
Ah, okay.
You were installing carpet without moving the furniture.
I know.
Yeah, right.
You're not supposed to tell people that unique skill I have. No, actually, I was installing this operating system. That's what I was doing. And it is done.
John says, what is everyone's thoughts on the upcoming Linux smartphone, Purism Librem 5? I'll believe it when I see it. John, yep.
It's got to get here first. A heck of an idea. And very, very, awesome premise behind it. But like so many Linux, from a user perspective myself, there's been so many neat Linux gadgets kind of thrown out there in the public, and kind of gets all of us drooling over it, and then poof, one day it looks really good, really promising, and in a very short order of time, it's gone.
Yeah. Google, Amazon are the only ones with the power to topple MS. Probably. Yep, true. Well,
Even Amazon. Amazon's got more money than God himself, but I don't know if
they want to. But
I don't know if they want to. If they wanted to, that
right.
could be a different story. I think Google would like to eat into Microsoft, of course.
Yeah.
But Amazon, if they wanted to, they'd be a force, but I just don't think they'd want to.
Right. But you never know what's being cooked up at the corporate office. Kagan says you like the idea of the phone, but not the price. So for the Linux phone, okay.
How much is that thing supposed to be?
Is it 500, 600?
I think it starts at 6.
Okay.
That kind of means I'm not going to get one right away. I mean, I love the idea, but I'm not getting it right away. That's for sure.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I mean, Ubuntu tried it with the Ubuntu Edge, which has at the time awesome specs. The phone, it went nowhere.
Well, the good thing about the Librem project, though, is that it actually brought together a lot of different groups that brought together the UB ports took over the Ubuntu phone. They're working on it. Plasma Mobile is working on it.
Yeah.
And you have these guys. So the phone's going to launch pure Linux with 3 different desktop environments.
Okay.
So it's going to be a cool thing.
How long would you give it before you tried to get your hands on one, Tom?
As soon as I could find one on the market for probably less than, maybe about 60% of the price, maybe. Because that's the thing, is I don't buy new phones, okay? This is a Nexus 5X. It works perfect. I paid $200 for it.
Okay.
I look for deals. I know how to find deals. I do cash and I do deals.
Cool.
So, and I'm guessing that there's not going to be a lot on the market right away.
Right.
My guess.
Right. Steve, that's true. He says 600 is now a back price considering what you pay a full price from LG, Samsung,
But
that's true.
I'm not allowing those companies to dictate how much I pay for a phone.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where we're getting into a lot of challenges right now.
Right. I know.
That's what Apple's entire deal was. Let's push a $1,000 phone to raise the prices on it. And it would not surprise me to see down the road an antitrust case, the same thing they did with ebooks, price fixing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, my last phone, I think I paid less than $200. The HTC One Max. It is out. It's 5 years old. It's outdated and it's slow. But you know, I start deleting apps that slow me down, and you know. But yeah, $200, $250 tops. And the Nexus phones are still good. It's those were shipped with pure Android, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But those are still good phones. Yes, there is an Ubuntu Satanic Edition. Yes, Daniel.
I've installed it before.
Ah, okay.
You did, Tom?
Right next to my Ubuntu Christian Edition.
Cool.
Hey, I'm a little finicky like that.
Feel the power of the dark side.
The thing about the Satanic Edition of Ubuntu, it's actually not a distro. It's all it is a theme pack.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
The Christian Edition at least has a few software packages installed. It just has all the basic Cloud utilities installed.
The chart says, "What's a spin Viking?" It's a person. Here on the chat, John. Yeah, I know it sounds like something out of the historical. The spin Vikings conquered the but anyway.
Sounds like the name of a band.
Spin
Viking.
Spin Viking.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
could be. Give it up for the Spin Vikings.
Scanner does not work. The printer works just fine.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
Work even after installing the drivers.
I use HP. Download the app. HP runs fine.
Yeah.
That and Epson are pretty good.
Epson scanners work flawlessly.
Epson's good.
I just the printers suck.
The worst are Canon. The worst tedious was Canon to install the drive. I got it working, but never again. But I recommend if you're watching, newbies, buy a HP or Epson printer in the Amazon link below and help out the channel, and trust me, you'll be fine. So forget about the rest.
Tom, look your printer up on openprinting.org and see what it says about it, if it's a brick or not, because it says with mine too. And that's what I was getting at when I did the IP assignment of mine. It was specifically to try to get the scanner going, and it did, but it didn't stick. It's like it didn't stay. But there are specific printers in there that they say some of them work fantastic. So I think you were right, Carmen, when you said HP. There were a couple of models you kind of threw out there.
I will not buy HP though. HP lost my business for life, and I use every bit of my effort to tell people not to get them.
Yeah, I stopped a while back too, mostly because of an incident with one of their computers. But
yeah, that's what it was for me.
Yeah.
In my case, HP is the last.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
In my case, HP is the last 3 machines I've bought.
Yeah.
You know, I bought it I tested Lexmark in the past, Canon, I think another one, and I thought, let me try HP, and it worked. So I recommend it. It just works. So I don't have.
I had one HP that lasted me 10 years, but that part of that reason was because I used to have a guy in town here that used to come, and I had a laser.
Oh.
He used to fill the toners for me. He would pick one. I had 2 of them. So when I got empty, I'd fill one, and then I'd have the other one. And even as heavy as I printed, I only went through the 2 in a year. And if the roller went bad, he replaced the roller on it, whatever. And that's why I went back to a laser, because I don't really need to print color very often.
Yeah.
And the Brother is a solid printer. It's just, it doesn't right now. The specific one doesn't play nice with Linux right now with it. So as far as the scanner goes, but the printer itself works great.
Yeah, my printer is not even listed on the site, on that site.
The one thing that I don't like about it, when it clicks on, it actually it makes a loud tick, which is not a big deal. You know, you hear that click and it's going to start printing, but my lights flicker, and I've heard other people say the same thing about it. So it's like
drawing a lot of power on its first dry.
I think the lights flicker Morse code by Windows 10 printer. By Windows.
Well, I like the Brothers because they're just absolutely solid laser printers. I just love them for that respect.
Which one?
The Brother laser printers.
Yeah. Because
I mean, I need to do a lot of quick black and white printing for writing books and editing and stuff, but lasers are just inkjets are just a waste.
Want to say Jeffrey Naylor is new. Welcome, Jeffrey, to the stream. Hello.
Hello,
nice to see you, Jeffrey.
Everybody say hello. Jeffrey, for you, I'll stick around a little bit longer.
John Henry Barrett Jr. said he's been on Linux since 2005. What distro did you start with, John, and what distro are you on right now?
Kagan says, wish he had a printer that could print lasers.
Well, they're expensive. So.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of lasers, that new Star Wars movie starts Friday. Solo? Star Wars story.
Do we really need more Star Wars?
I know. I enjoyed the last one, though. I enjoyed it. It was all right. It was all right.
I saw all 3 of the prequel movies, I guess, and I haven't seen one since.
I don't go to the movies that much because the stories are either stupid or I'm not feeling it. Yeah, I just don't go. But the Star Wars one was okay.
So John said he started with Xandros KDE build, and right now he's using Pop OS from
Xandros. That goes back. Yeah.
Are they still around?
I don't know. Jeffrey, what do you use, if I may ask?
Let's take a look and see if Xandros is still around.
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago or something like that.
I'm looking it up. Nice looking desktop, actually. Look at the.
It's been a while, yeah.
Well, per distro watch, it is discontinued, and it looks like
Jeffrey Ubuntu Mate. He's the smartest one in the bunch besides me. But nice. That's what I use on my other machine, Jeffrey. And this one I have Linux Mint Mate. Awesome.
Looks like the last release was in 2007 for our friends at Xandros.
Okay.
And it looks like the initial release was Valentine's Day, 2/14/05. That's Valentine's Day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Pierce says lots of Jeffs. Okay. Did not enjoy The Last Jedi. I didn't like the one before that, The Force Awakens. It was more like Star Wars, the Force puts me to sleep or something, but anyway, The Last Jedi was okay.
Yeah.
XFC versus Mate. Well, they're both fairly lightweight. I don't use XFC a lot. I think they both have the same minimum specs in terms of system requirements, RAM usage. They're both fairly customizable. I think it's a matter of the looks. Tom, what do you think? XFC versus Mate?
Workflow, I would say.
Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah, I mean, they're both highly customizable. They're both good. Of the two, I'm not sure which one I like better.
Well, Mate's got the best weather app. Built-in weather app is awesome. If I had to get picky, but
to me, XFCE always, and of course, I just look at stuff bone stock without theming or anything. XFCE to me looks like it is, say, 5 or 6 years old. Always.
Yeah.
As where Mate looks like it's a little bit more fresh.
I'm not sure about Mate, but XFCE you can theme if you know how to do CSS. On my Cubes build, I did some really fancy theming on that because it is all CSS scripts.
Well, the one thing I'll say, normally most of the XFCEs are, I guess, let's call them bland for a better choice of word.
They are. The built-in ones tend to be very bland.
Yeah, there are some that are just plain out ugly, like Antigross. But I will say, Ubuntu Studios XFCE, very nicely themed.
What's a Moshka desktop from Live or Die? Moksha. Is that Arabic? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Moksha. I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Matthew Mate is awesome. Give it a shot. Linux Mint and Ubuntu Mate, they're both very good. Check it out. But I don't know Moksha.
The one thing I got to say about any of these distros is you've got to be patient enough to live in them long enough to give them a fair shot. Because even I had my hiccups, let's call it that, because that's truly what I felt it was, with Mate in the beginning. That's why I went to Linux Mint Mate. And then when I messed up the kernel by messing around with it, I thought, well, let me go back to Mate again, 1710, and I absolutely loved it. When I went to 1804, instead of being patient waiting for the point release, I messed it up again and did something else stupid where my gaming file got lost forever. So then I thought, well, I was curious about Studio again just to play with it until Mate does the point release. So here I am. But I think you do, I would like to think you would agree with this too, the rest of the panel. You've got to be on them long enough to give them the time to feel your way around and get kind of used to things. Now, if it's something that you just don't like that bad out of the box, you're not going to stick around. But if it's something that's, well, this seems pretty decent, but, let me give it, you got to give it time to kind of settle in, I think.
Moksha is Bodhi Linux. I've heard of Bodhi, and it's very lightweight, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that
Windows too. I mean, this is a Windows cast here that you were talking about initially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Windows, some people, they judge stuff coming right out of the box too. And if you really look at Windows, I've said this in the past too, is it looks a lot like Kubuntu with the tiles and everything else, the flat looks and stuff. So, and there is a lot of things that they admitted to taking from the lead of Linux.
Right. That's another thing about updating in Windows. You're updating, when you do the updates, even as long as it takes, you're updating the core system, not necessarily all your apps. That's separate. Yep. That's extra. Whereas in Linux, it's one combined universal download of everything, and that's another advantage with Linux. It's just opposite ends. But that's why I use Linux more.
I could count maybe on one hand, and all the times I was on Windows, all the years I was on Windows, how many times I ever opened up Terminal.
Right.
I'm in a Terminal every day on this one.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's fun.
Once you get comfortable with it, it's not hard or scary, but in the beginning, just work it graphically, learn how things work. But with the Ubuntu Mate Linux Mint, you really don't have to use the terminal. For the average I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I find myself using it more and more because it's faster when you know how to do things.
Mm-hmm. Shortcut. Mm-hmm.
Need to.
I use an app called the UCare. I think it's called the UCare Core System. UCare System Core. It's an all-in-one system. I plug that into the terminal. It does all of it, and it's the most thorough thing I've ever used. UCare System Core. Look it up. It's awesome. What would a virtual assistant in Linux be like? I would be like Arnold. I will help you with Debian. You need a BPA.
Aren't you recording the voiceovers for that next week, Carmine?
Maybe I should. Okay, you need to press the terminal, you stupid ding dong. That'd be the virtual assistant.
Now, this UCare that you're talking about, did you do it in Synaptic or was it in the Software Center?
What?
Talking to Carmine, that UCare System Core or whatever.
That's in the no. That's you gotta have. That's not in the Synaptics. You have to do a search for PPA, I do believe.
Okay.
Daniel, super chat is when you can pay the creator of the video for the host of the video.
If Daniel, at the bottom you'll see there's an emoji like a happy face to the left, and then the $ sign. If you click that, you can donate to the channel if you want to. That's a super chat. Versus going to PayPal or whatever's out there. It's just a more convenient way to help out the channel, support whatever channel that you so choose to. But that's what super chat. It's fairly new thing from YouTube. One of the more constructive things YouTube has done, in my opinion, because it's simple, it works, it's safe, it's secure. But that's what that is. Some people would rather do that than, like I said, PayPal or Patreon or Amazon, just because it's right there, like it's right in front of you. And what it does also is, if you do that, it posts your comment, your name to the top, highlights it. That does like a timer, you know. It's okay. I don't offhand have a link, Steve, for it's in my let me make sure I'm saying it right again. It's U-Care System Core. That's the name of it.
It's the letter, the letter U, right?
It's a letter U. Yeah, it's a letter U.
Yeah, I'm looking at a website. It took me to utopia.org. Download
Okay.
U-Care System. Is that what it is?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I installed it. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, I tried it in 2 machines to see if it would work. Nothing funny about it. It seems to work. It does a complete. I mean, it does everything. I really like it. If it does what it claims to do, and I think it does.
How did you happen to find that? I mean, would you just search it for something to do a
Yeah, I was looking for. What was I looking for? I was looking for something, Joe, and I happened to come across it. And I thought, well, I've never heard of that. So, I mean, obviously it got my attention. I tried it on 1 machine first. Did it a couple times, rebooted, tried it again, make sure it doesn't have anything strange going on. Tried it in a second machine. I said, oh, this really works. And there you go. I think I mentioned it once. I did a video on it. I don't like to push something new, like if I don't have a lot of experience, or I'll say I don't know much about this, but check it out. But yeah. It's the U-Care System Core. Yeah, it's a PPA. Check it out. I think it's strictly Debian based, I believe.
Take a look at that link I just put in the Google chat and see if that might ring a bell to you.
Yeah, it's the same one I came up with, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, I use that. It's fast. It's easy. It's great. It does it all.
And it would make sense when you say Debian based, because it almost looks like the image they show on the page when it pops up in the blog looks like when you're doing a Debian install.
Okay.
You know how it's that more of a 9.
See, Windows needs that. See, that's one. If they had their own version of that U-Care system in the terminal command, I wouldn't mind using that. But it has to be a complete update, apps and everything. But it doesn't do that. So, but that's why I try to stay away from Windows 10. Especially when I'm in Linux Mint or Ubuntu Mate. I only go in there. I mean, the last time it was over a month, I opened up the Windows side of the machine, of the partition. But you got to do the updates and patches if I want to play my game, But I dread the updates. It's too long. Microsoft, it's too long. So.
Yeah, they're showing to do just the Debian package, sudo space.
Yeah.
Air system -core. And then I'll download the Debian package, and all I got to do is click and install, it says.
Thank you, Steve, for the super chat. Daniel, that's an example of the super chat. I don't know what the maximum is or minimum is, but that's how that works. It highlights your name. Thank you, Steve. Mark Yates. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, man, I was going to jump off. We have Mark's in that, but he's been around a lot of chats. So, how are you, Mark? Mark, you can still use Ubuntu. It is not spyware. Okay, not in the technical sense, and not in the Windows 10 sense. SC and SE, yeah, that's what it's worth. 10 cents. But yeah, Mark says he was known to bless it. Time out here. It's anyway. Compared to Windows 10, forget about it. Use Linux, use Ubuntu. Okay, see what I'm saying? 500 is the max for super chat. It could be. I don't know. I'll let you know as soon as I get one. So yeah, Mark, feel safe in Ubuntu and Linux in general versus Windows 10. Yeah, I did not want to give you the wrong impression in part 1. Part 2 explains it more fully. Once again, thanks to Michael from Tux Digital. Look, we talked about that Friday night stream. If something ever happened where Ubuntu, whatever, a system, a OS went bonkers and went rogue and went full Windows 10 spyware, the community would harp on it. You would know. The self-correcting mechanisms would kick in and you would know. So, Now, the other thing about, opting in, out, it still knows when you opt in and out. Those are legitimate concerns, but it's nowhere near Windows 10. Not even close.
Well, at least they went to opt in. They were opt out before, and they listened to the community. Yeah. So that goes to show you that when people kind of got upset enough and rumbled enough about it, they immediately changed it. So they're listening.
Ubuntu's opt out.
Oh, is it opt out? Okay.
Yeah, if you ignore the screen and close it, the default sends the data. Yeah,
it should be opt in. I would prefer the opposite.
Are you sure about that, Tom? I thought that was changed in Ubuntu's too.
Yes, that was exactly said by the guys in that Jupiter broadcasting video that I did. He specifically said the reason it is opt out is because people will close it.
Okay, and and that would make sense, I guess. Maybe I'm thinking of Mate, because I know on Mate I thought it was the other way around. So.
It might be on Mate. I don't know.
Yeah, because it gives you either choice.
But I mean, again, even there, if you just close it, what does it do? I don't know. I haven't looked into that one.
Yeah.
But I know the regular Ubuntu is definitely an opt. It is definitely an opt.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Mark, definitely check out part 2. There was a lot of good information back and forth. Again, thanks to Switch to Linux. And anybody in the chat, if you have subscribed to Switch to Linux, and also check out Michael at Tux Digital, please. Okay.
Has anybody had any experience with touchscreen support on Ubuntu 18.04?
I do not.
I mean, it should be fine. I mean, I have a touchscreen laptop, and I know 16 works just fine. I'm not sure about 18 though, because GNOME. So that's a good question.
I don't know. Okay.
You're asking about does a touchscreen work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a touchscreen laptop here, and so far,
cool.
I was going to spin something up, but if you can already confirm that, good.
Yeah, because right now my primary on here is Peppermint, but I've tested Kubuntu and they all seem to work pretty well.
I'll tell you, I hate touchscreens on regular laptops, so I actually disable mine.
I generally do too.
I disable it with a startup script, and then I have a place if I need it, I can re-enable it with a simple script really quickly. But the computer that I have, there's a hardware thing where occasionally it just likes to touch itself constantly. This is well, it's not that late.
This is a family channel.
That's what, So, but anyway, it kind of goes crazy on Windows or on Linux, whatever.
Oh, he asked if it has improved, John, on the touch. I never tried it. I don't know if it has improved.
I mean, mine works perfectly fine. I haven't, like I said, especially even on the Peppermint, it's pretty snappy. And now, again, I don't have an 1804 release of something loaded up on here now. This is still up to 8, but when I did run the 1804s, the drive is put away now. I took the little dongle out of here. They were all still working just fine.
I can probably boot one up if you guys want to see. I'm pretty sure I have 1804 laying around.
Yeah, if you can do it real quick. To the people in the live chat, I'm probably going to wrap this up here after Tom shows us.
I will probably need about 5 or so minutes.
Okay, well, I will wait, but just to give a heads up, this will be the last call for comments. Thank you to the person for the super chat. I think it was one of the Steves or Steve. I think it was. Thank you. DistroTube, how are you, DT?
Derek.
It's about time Derek got here.
I know. DT, I might try out an Arch-based. I know what's wrong with me, but I may try it. I'm going to try the one with the graphical installer Arch. What did I download? Arch Merge, something like that. I might try that. Give it a shot, just more out of curiosity. I'm not distro hopping, but no, it's what is it's the one with the oil company name Arco. I might try that. Yeah, just out of curiosity, I might try that.
Ooh, this thing's running through a slow cable. It's taking forever to write.
Arch Merge is now ArcLink. Yes. Mm-hmm. Linux Smith community going to address random lockups and freezes Dell laptops. I wasn't aware of anything, John.
Yeah, I run. This is Dell. It runs Linux Mint perfectly.
I've not heard of that. Is it specific machines? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple times when the system would freeze or lock up, maybe 10 in 2.5 years.
Oh.
That's not bad.
Jeff says, is this show every Wednesday? Try to be, Jeffrey, like a Windows Wednesday. I wasn't sure what I was doing tonight. That's why I didn't call it Windows Wednesday. Jeffrey, the only set schedule I have for sure is Friday nights at 10. And then me and Switch try to do something on the weekends in the Life in Linux. That's, then I do stuff at random to let people around the world who never get a chance to chime in and say hello, or just to watch it live. Yeah, normally Windows Wednesday. Of course, Friday nights to make DT happy. It's mate and meatballs. For the others. If you talk about food.
Yeah, I run news Friday at 9.
Yeah, I'm usually on after Switch or
think
before.
About backing that up just a little bit. 4 years, because I always run into yours.
That's I mean, if you want to.
Not really. Just
I decided.
I set mine at different times for different time zones.
Yeah.
But mine are set scheduled. So
you're welcome, Jeff. I decided to go after yours because it's now the summer's coming. It's usually daylight still. I'm trying to enjoy as much daylight in summer as I can pre-summer. That's why I went after yours or past your. But you and I are in the same time zone, so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Competing streams, DT, we're complementing streams. This is a community channel. We're not competing. It's a complementary. All the guys that do the Euro Truck streams, I don't watch them, DT. I guess it's funny stuff.
English Bob does a lot of those, I think.
Okay. Oh, at the same time. Okay. Thank you, Tim.
I'm booting up 1804 Studio here, too.
Okay. DT, you want to join us? If you want, I was going to jump up, but if you want to jump on.
We should all find some community live streamable video and all stream simultaneously YouTube while we play a game.
Interesting.
I'm not a gamer, though, so.
Charlie brought up the Australia, mate. The SG link is down again. Stream didn't work for 2 hours.
Can you guys see this at all?
Yes.
Yep.
I see it.
Talk while you're doing it, Joe.
There's your touch. Okay, I'm just basically open the menu. I'm just trying. It's hard to see to do this, so you guys can still see it and whatever. So if I want to open up the web browser, just touch. Now it may not. I don't think it's going to connect to the internet right away because I didn't hook it up. But that's all touch screen. This is Ubuntu Studio.
Yeah, and that's
1804.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
92% done. Then 94.
Okay.
I'll be booting this up in a minute.
Tom will show his, and I'll wrap it up.
If it's built on
DT Friday night as usual. If you want to join.
The difference is though is that I'm going to be running the GNOME version and Studio's XFCE, which may cause a difference.
And this is XFCE on here too, just for the record.
Does anybody have any fun plans for Memorial Day weekend?
Working in the yard.
There you go.
Nope.
Son's graduation party, high school graduation. And there's a pool in the back, but it's been too cold and we'll not go swimming. I'm not going to freeze off my kernels, so. It's a family show. I said it was all family. You guys know what I need.
You know, I thought you were going to jump on digging in the yard, Toss. I thought you were going to really jump on that one.
Well, you know, man, I got the caddy trunk ready to go. I don't have to dig no more, okay?
Oh, I thought you said working in the yard, Joe. What are you digging a pool?
Oh, working in the yard. So that could mean a lot of.
I'm going to DT's house, barbecue and bourbon. It's a southern thing, the barbecue and bourbon with some grits.
I didn't get that invite.
Yeah, Charlie, it's a USA holiday, Charlie. That's right, once a year, well, this year it's Monday the 28th. Yes, Charlie. Veterans, yes.
All right, so here we are over here.
Okay.
Here's our menu. Well, maybe. It doesn't seem to like clicking the menu. Well, it doesn't seem to work with the mouse pad either. There it goes. Okay, there's the mouse pad. Now let's go back to the touchpad.
Yeah, I tried GNOME on this too, and it works okay, but it's like that too. It seems a little glitchier.
Well, I think it's because GNOME itself is just not
snappy.
GNOME is slow. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying it's good.
Try to pull your calendar down. Well, that seems to work.
Yeah, so that's fine. Everything over here, so it's like the only thing that seems to not work well is accessing the menu.
It's the activities overview.
Yeah, you know what? That's the same problem I had, where it seemed like if you touched it a certain way, I remember I figured out how to get around that. But yeah, if you touch it, it wants to open and close right away. It was
it's like it's like a double tap.
You know what it is? It's got to be a hold. It's a hold.
Yeah, you got to hold it. But if you go up to the activities, you could get to it that way too, I think, right?
That is so unintuitive. So, okay, there's activities. Well, and then...
Yeah.
I'll stick with Mate.
I think there's something that I had to change in there to make it...
So if you pull up activities and then hit the menu once, now it shows up.
Right,
So
yeah.
you have to hit activities and then hit menu.
Right.
Get the menu up.
Yeah.
But if you're just on the main screen and you just hit menu, you actually have to hold it. Well, even holding it's not consistent.
Yeah, it's finicky.
Oh,
it doesn't. Yeah, I ran through the same thing. It's not.
No. Quit. We do not want to run the installer. No.
Hard shut down.
So, and I guess, a challenge, and this is kind of a pet peeve I have, is everyone's going like, 4K resolution on your laptop? What are you, like, do you have microscopes in your eyeballs?
Yeah.
Because even HD, I think, this is an HD screen, I think HD is even too, it's too small for this. I think the ideal perfect size is 1600 by 900 for a laptop. You get the widescreen. It's not super small, but it's not super big. It's not the 1068, which is just too big, but it's not the HD, which is too small. I really love that 1600 by 900.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the challenge. Is it doesn't have the resolution's too high to really clearly hit what you want to hit. So it works. It's just not the most ideal, I guess. And that's why I disabled the touchscreen. It's pretty useless.
Well, there you go.
Half the time I forget it's even on here. I hate to say that, but I do.
Well, for a laptop, what's the... this is the other thing about Ubuntu. You remove the media and then hit enter. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't work right for me on any system.
Well, and the sad part is, if you think about it, the touchscreen... If you're going to use a touchscreen on any distro, GNOME would be the one you'd want to use it on, because it's pretty much like an app, basically an app-based.
Yeah, and know, the thing is that I used to say that. It's like I think that GNOME would be great for a touchscreen, and so I bought a touchscreen device just to test it out and play with it, and it was horrible because GNOME is so system heavy.
Yeah,
these little touchscreen devices only have 2 gigs of RAM. Yeah, and it wouldn't even run. So then the only other one you could do was Plasma is the only other one that's kind of close, but that doesn't really have good touchscreen support.
Yeah.
It seems so silly for GNOME, considering, when they went to GNOME 3, it wasn't part of the switch to that kind of, being able to use it on tablet or tablet type devices and stuff like that. But then they have continually bloated the desktop environment, so you have to have a tablet device that's got just insane computing powers to be able to just handle the desktop.
Yeah, John, I was born in Brooklyn, so my New York accent, I was there as a kid for 14 years, so. You have a friend in Jamaica, Queens, okay?
See, if this was a Windows show tonight, if one of us better boot into it.
Yeah, there you go. There's a Windows 7 computer down there.
It's propping up the corner of his desk.
No, it's actually my development computer.
Oh.
I'm going to leave this. I'm going to end the live chatter with a joke. In the next to the last Ubuntu podcast, Alan Pope loves ThinkPads like me. He bought one. I forget which one it was, the X3 something, but I guess it's a thick one like this. So Martin Wimpress from Mate says that you can also use those as a slab. If a piece of a brick or the thing, block breaks off your house, you can insert that thick pad to compensate a slab. Oh man, but
nice hanging with you again tonight, Toss.
This was awesome, yeah. So thanks everybody in the live chat, everybody who was new that popped in. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. Heather, happy birthday again. Have any questions for any of us? Feel free to send an email or a comment. I haven't lost all of my New York accents. I still like a lot of coffee, Mugen. Okay, so what you freaking talking about? But no, I lost some of it, kind of. But it's still, you can take the boy out of the city, but not the city out of the boy, right? But anyway, thanks again in the chat. Thanks for the super chat, whoever that was. I think it was Steve here. DT, yeah. So yeah, join me Friday night, 10 p.m. local time, Eastern time, for another special live event, something a little bit different, and then we'll go from there. So everybody in the live chat, I'll catch you Friday night. Take care.
Take care. See you, Joe.